My name is May Hong. I am the speaking voice of Mira from K-pop Demon Hunters. And this is Moana Nui podcast. Signing off. Happy fans. Do it with me. Happy fans. Happy Hon.
So this is what? How many years have y'all been coming to Toylanta?
This is our actually first year.
Okay. All right, I'm James here with Moana Nui podcast here at Toylanta 2026. And gentlemen, can I get you to introduce yourselves briefly?
This is Anthony Marquez, also known as Kung Lao for Mortal Kombat.
Hi, I'm martial art master Daniel Pesina. He's also Fujin. He always forgets that. But I like Fujin. You know, he's a good character. But I am the original Johnny Cage, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Reptile, Smoke, and Noob Saibot. And fight designer.
Okay, so basically everybody in MK1.
Basically, slave labor, yes.
So what was it like doing mocap for MK1 and 2?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, it wasn't motion capture because it was videotapes. So when you're playing Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, they're actual people. And so we had to cut out all the frames and put them together according to how we wanted to get the game to play. But so when you're playing Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, it's actually people and not people in the suit because that wasn't created yet.
Right.
So it was so we created it from the ground up, so it was very interesting.
And you?
All right, so when they were doing this game, we all grew up together. We were all friends before Mortal Kombat.
Right.
And I broke my foot, and so I wasn't able to participate in this game, which is no problem because, you know, there were Dan was saying, oh yeah, we're working on this video game. You realize that this video game that they're working on is Mortal Kombat. It's like, oh my God. So you see these guys everywhere, and they're your boys, so that's cool. But like, oh my God, I represent that guy that like when everybody was playing the game, it's like, oh, if I was in the game, I would do this.
Exactly.
I'm that guy. It's like, I'm the guy who gets to be that, oh, when I'm in the game, I'm going to do this. So that's who I am.
So did that help you come up with some of the moves for Kung Lao as well, or?
Oh no, and this is that collaborative effort because we're always there together.
Right.
And so like Danny would be doing something like, oh my God, look how cool Danny looks. I got to do something cooler than that. And then Danny's, oh, you thought that was pretty cool. Let me show you this. So
Yeah, the first two games there was no script or anything like that. We were responsible to create the characters. So it wasn't like, oh, do this or that. They would just put us in front of the camera. We would do stuff, and then we would try to develop it from there, and then we'd invite the programmer in who would adjust the movements. So by the time, you know what I mean? So it was a long day because we would start doing something, and then all of a sudden we would start laughing and goofing around, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, it'd be cool if we did, you know, because he had a hat, like Kung Lao had a hat, and then we were like, oh, it'd be cool if he would spin and cut you with the hat, and then Tony loved Michael Jackson, and then Tony was like, I'm going to do it like Michael Jackson. So all of a sudden you're creating this persona just about what you wanted to put in the game.
Blanking on the next question here because it's just...
Finish him.
that is a good question. Finish him. How did that come about?
So John and I were filming. We were just filming. We've been filming for hours, and there's different... We wanted different reactions to different strikes. Meaning, if you have a quick strike,
right?
If you have a quick strike, good reaction, you'd have reaction. But I thought that if they hold the button while they're doing punch, you can have a stronger punch. So all of a sudden we're like, boom, and you get hit. So one was like this. Then I thought of that, and then John was like, what if you even hold it longer? So then I was just like, oh, like this. And then John is like, what if you even hit it longer? And then I go back even like this. And he goes, okay, what if you hit so hard, the power bar is down, what would you do? And then I was like, what would I do? I would be like this. Like this. And John's like, that's really cool. And we're just looking at it. And then I was just like, John looked at me and was like, this can't end like this. And I was just like, yeah, it should be like a kung fu movie. And he goes, we got to think of a way to finish him. We need to think of finishing moves where finally you get to do we didn't have fatality. Finally, at the end, we would kill them. And then I was like, yeah, we have to start thinking. So then John and I started thinking of creating finishing moves or fatalities.
So playing so many characters, how did you mentally handle all that? Because you listed off 7 characters between 2 games.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot.
No, because they were different. They're all me.
Right.
So when I act like Johnny Cage, if you get to hang out with me, you're going to realize, like, holy shit, he's Johnny Cage, because that is me. It's easier to act like you because they didn't have anything scripted. Right. So we're creating the characters on the spot. Nobody's like, oh, do this or that. You had to come up with it on the spot and do it, and then we added from that point. So I was like, when I was doing Scorpion, I was like, okay, Scorpion, and he's like the Lin Kuei, because Scorpion's in there because I didn't want to do a Japanese ninja. I wanted to do a Chinese ninja. So I had told John to change the Japanese ninja to Chinese ninja. So when you look at his early drawings, it's a Japanese ninja, and then later on it changed to a Chinese ninja, Lin Kuei, and that's because I told him to do that, because I was like, I want to be this character who's kind of evil and have this persona of not being a good guy. Mm-hmm. But he was going to have a brother, Sub-Zero, who was supposed to be the better one, whose martial arts were better. But this guy was more like a dastardly guy. So when we were like, we're thinking of weapons, there's a rope dart. It's an ancient weapon. It's used to tangle up an opponent or pull them off their horse. Because what happens, you throw it out, it's on a rope. It's a fellow martial artist, so when he blocks, it gets wrapped around, and then you can pull them off the horse. Or when you shoot it out, the guy will block it, get wrapped up, and another guy will kill him. So it's a kind of a dastardly weapon. Yeah. So I was like, oh, he's got to have this weapon. And so that's just put that into the persona. So that was just the whole creation. You just steamroll. And then, John would be like, oh, we got to add this. Okay, let's add this, or goof around, or, it just was a big collaboration. It was really, really exciting to work on.
How do you feel about the evolution of all the characters that you've played so far throughout the years? I mean, it's going on, 2 decades of Mortal Kombat now. We've seen Kung Lao just grow and grow and grow, and all of your ninjas pretty much expanding from 3 to 12. All
right. Yeah, for that, it's cool to see the evolution, but there's no getting around, especially in the beginning, the first couple of games. You had these characters, but the characters didn't have any personality.
Right.
And so, like what Danny was just saying, we're developing this stuff on the spot. But when you really get to know Danny, or when you play the game, think about Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage is a worldwide celebrity, really cocky. Everyone loved him, but he's truly a martial arts master. When you think of Daniel Pesina, he's a worldwide celebrity. He is really cocky. But he's a martial arts master, and everybody loves him. Right. When you think of Kano, just essentially a regular guy, good or bad, however you want to play him, but he's just looking for a paycheck. When you think of Rich DeVizio is a regular guy, this particular skill set, who's really just looking for a paycheck.
Yeah, actually in real life he is that. That's why if you look at any of the characters, if you see Sonya Blade, not the later on, I know in the cartoon they portray her as like she needs somebody to protect her, but in reality, Liz Malecki doesn't need anybody to protect her. So beat your ass. Same thing with Catalan. they look fragile, but if they catch you by surprise, chances are they will beat your ass. Yeah.
So with the popularity of the game and seeing your characters evolve over 7, 8, 12 games or whatever, and now coming to the big screen again, sequel coming out later on this year to the reboot, what are your thoughts on that?
For me personally, I love Max Wong is the current Kung Lao.
Right.
I love him. And then you turn back the clock, whether it's Paulo Montalban or myself. You can see the character development, but no matter what iteration, it always comes back to every time I see a Johnny Cage. Oh yeah, I see Danny in that character. Whenever I see a Liu Kang, oh yeah, I see where I see Ho Sung in that character.
Yeah, and anyone who acts like me doesn't suck. So I like it when even with the first movie, with the actor coming in and acting, he's acting like me, so it's cool, and they get to add, to that persona. But the base is always Mortal Kombat 1 and 2. People forget that there was acting and stuff while we were doing that. Just because you have the frames, if you really look at the whole footage, you'll see there's actual, you see the whole persona is out there for real.
Right. That's one of those things where, it's not like a TV show or a movie or whatever. You have to get the personality across in a very limited space. But you could always see that, yeah, that's Danny, that's Ho Sung, that's Rich, that's Carlos, that's Tony. That is the personality in the pixels that really comes across, that really helps, makes this game, that classic phenomenon that it actually is.
Okay. Anything that either you're working on at the moment that you can talk about?
No. No, if you put it like that, no.
So you can't talk about it, but there is something in the pipeline.
Yeah, there's a couple of things in the pipeline.
Okay.
I think people will really enjoy it.
So we should keep our eyes open for later this year, next year, spring?
Probably announced later on this year, for next year.
All right, so announcement coming soon.
And then follow Kung Lao on Spotify, and watch out for my second memoir, Coming Through the Fire, that'll be coming out in 2027.
Well, thank you both for the interview. Enjoying my time here at Toylanta. It's my first year. And can we get your socials?
Oh, sure.
Where people can follow you.
Follow me at Anthony _ Kung Lao on Instagram.
And mine either is Master Pesina or Master D Pesina, because I couldn't remember the password for Master Pesina. So now I got two separate pages, but I check in on those. But yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate both your times.
Thank you.
And this is James with Moana Nui Podcast, signing off at Toylanta.
Hey.
Finishing.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will.
If this the land of the free, it was a freedom then. When they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves a republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand, yeah.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No work out for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.
So if you put Hawaii into perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course. Versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course. Cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Koholave. As a part of their ongoing war with Asia, used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. Network out for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell. Even if we have to ourselves, can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell. Even if we have to ourselves, can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. So many stories left to tell. Even if we have to ourselves, can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell. Even if we have to ourselves, can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.